Thanks for filling the last-minute void.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Last-minute voids are the toughest to fill. with talented people, I should say. We could probably get some conspiracy theory people on or something like that.
That'd be fun. Do we have one right now?
Oh, have you
Maybe. I can make up some conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
I think the birds aren't real people are my favorite.
I like that a lot. I'm all for that.
Right?
If you're gonna believe something like it better be like that crazy.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
Birds aren't real.
The birds aren't real.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite one out of all of them.
What is the conspiracy? Is it that they're like government spies?
I think so.
Like the machines by the government. Okay.
Yeah, they're just
I
spies.
really like that. I really like
all their
that.
eyes are cameras.
Something
and
like
ears
that.
are
I mean,
listening
I've not done deep research into this. If you could really
No,
call
I've really
it deep
only
research.
I've really only ever seen it in passing, like on memes.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what the actual birds are.
Yeah,
Like, does
Same
that
thing.
extend to like flamingos?
Yeah. How big does
it's
it
the
get?
bird family.
Yeah, and flightless birds too. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they'd be.
Yeah, like emus are just there to watch us.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And that's a scary one too. Those are big.
They are.
It's like a dinosaur.
I think the Canadian geese are probably
You
the
ever
most
been around
powerful
a,
cameras. Yeah.
around
right
a
in your face.
peacock.
Yeah.
You know?
They're like little velociraptors.
Yeah. I had
Really?
like a peacock story. One time I was with my buddy Alan. We were like 17.
Yeah.
We had to go to some place that was in Mayfield, or it was on Mayfield Road, but it was like statues for your garden. We had to pick up some statue for the garden. It was a
I
bunch
know
of
what you
those.
mean. Right in
Yeah.
Chesterland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're wandering through there, and you hear this fucking crazy noise, and I'm like, "What the hell was that?" You know, he's like, "I think it's a peacock."
Yeah,
Like,
they make an ungodly noise.
Yeah.
Because, cheers, boys. Or cheers. Wow. It never gets any better, this stuff. That's what's good about it. It lets you know. My parents, like, there's the way, like, their houses are in Medina, it's like there's, like, a row of houses that are on the street, and then there's, like, a long driveway that goes to the back, and there's another row of houses. Like, it's a kind of rural area, but these one people that moved in there, like, when I was, like, I mean, this is, like, after I was out of high school, but still at home, but they had a peacock, and I'd never been around one. And they're really fast on foot.
How old were you again?
I don't know if you knew it. Like, this is probably I was probably like 23, 24 or something.
Oh, okay.
But they're really fast on foot, peacocks, and they get low, and they look like a. Because I went outside one day and was in the garage, and it like ran and something like ran. I just saw it like a flash, and I saw it like go. And then it went around the house. And I was like, "The fuck was that?" And then it turns out it was this peacock, which also used to get up in this tree in the morning and crow like a rooster. And it made it was an awful sound.
Yeah.
It was like, what was that? It's a fucking peacock.
Yeah.
It's just like such a. It was just.
It sounds like that screech, the velociraptors. Is that what you're saying, or just the way they move?
Oh, it sounds like a. Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of sounds like. It sounds like a crowing of a. Sound like a crowing, like just an awful crow.
Yeah, we heard that sound, and he's like, "Sounds like a peacock." And I'm like, "Fuck you!" I turned the corner, there's a peacock standing there.
Yeah, and
I just stared at my buddy like,
Wow.
I mean, I swear this thing because it's like its feathers are in, and it looked like a dinosaur.
They
It's like,
streamline.
it gets low to the ground.
Yeah.
And yeah.
There's an albino one down the street.
Oh really?
Really?
And my wife saw it.
They
first,
need like a lot of.
And like
Does
I
somebody,
didn't.
is it belong to somebody?
Yeah, it's somebody's pet. I didn't believe her.
They need a lot of space, from what I understand.
Yeah, it's down like Old 8, like around the corner.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there's an albino one down there. I didn't
I don't
believe
know
her. I didn't
anything
see it for the
about-
first year.
My peacock information has increased 1,000%.
Does a peacock?
I thought they just walked around showing off their feathers all day.
Well, does the albino one? What kind of is his feathers?
It's
You
all
know
white. It's just all white.
Just all white.
It's just all white.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the whole thing's white. I haven't seen it like because they keep it in the backyard.
You guys
so
ever
I
get an
haven't seen it, like,
albino guy
super
on this
close.
podcast?
No, I
no,
don't
just
think so.
Caucasian.
Do we have
Yeah.
any albino musicians in Northeast Ohio?
No, we can try and get like Edgar Winter or something like that, but he's
Is
not
he
a
still
Clevelander.
alive?
I think he is. I think his brother passed
Brother.
away.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
Johnny
right,
died.
right.
But I think
Were they
Edgar's.
both albino?
Yeah. My dad's band opened for Edgar Winter in the 90s.
Really?
Oh, you've seen him.
Did you meet him?
No, I think that was at the Agora. They opened up for Edgar Winter.
I watched this interview with Edgar Winter once, and I remember I feel like he said like a lot. In the interview. That was like the thing I remember about it. He because he kind of talks with this southern like accent that was almost a little bit effeminate because he had like a lisp kind of.
Yeah.
And then he would say like I remember that about him. That and keytars. That's the main two things I know about Edgar Winter.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
That's named from the like all the tape that they used when they were laying it out because everybody played their parts and then they spliced it together back in the old tape days. And he's like, look, the drummer said it looks like you're putting back together Frankenstein's monster.
Wow.
And then that song is the inspiration for Jungle Boogie. They heard that
Really?
and they were like, we want to make a funk version of Frankenstein.
Oh.
So
I didn't know that.
now we know everything about Peacocks and the Edgar Winter Group.
Off to a good start.
What's the next topic?
How was your Christmas, Chuck? I haven't seen you.
That's pretty good. Yeah, we did see.
We
I
did.
saw you.
Oh yeah,
I
we
saw you
just
the
jammed
28th.
last week.
Yeah.
Dude, what's going on with you?
He stopped drinking.
Oh, he stopped drinking. Now he didn't remember it. Yeah, that'll do it.
I said I was going to do the sober January, and what is it, the 4th today?
It is the
And so
4th.
I have it here in case I want to sip, but I think I'm
Wait,
going to
you-
go for it.
In case of
Wait,
emergency.
why are you doing this to
empty
yourself?
glass.
Because-
right.
Because I knew this
If you're
would
not
happen.
drinking, you don't have to drink.
Well, I knew this would happen.
Oh,
where
well, you did.
my
Yeah.
head would get all like. I don't think
Listen.
I've done one of these without drinking.
I'll be
so
your
it's hard to
enabler.
have. It's hard to have these conversations
Yeah.
as fun without it.
It's. I agree.
So
I
all right,
agree.
here we go.
We've done the.
Maybe I could just do
Day
one.
4.
Maybe I could just do once a
Stone
week,
out.
and I'll do 4 more days, and then one off. Yeah, dryish January.
Dry.
Dryish.
Slightly damp January.
Just
Yeah, just damp January. Yeah.
just getting a little moistened. Well, I got this huge bottle of water that I'm supposed to drink every day for Christmas too. So
That's pretty awesome.
Should we check it for booze?
the booze is right in front of you.
That's 64 ounces of booze a day.
Yeah.
That's not much. That's 5 beers.
What's that movie with that guy, Mads Mikkelsen? You ever know that actor?
No.
He's like Dutch or Danish or something. And it's like, I can't remember what it's called. It's like these guys, and they're all like, it's a foreign movie, but it's like they experiment like, what happens if we go, like the one guy's a school teacher, and it's like he just, they experiment with like certain amounts of alcohol, and then I'm gonna try and go through my daily life and see if I can get away with it. Or if I show up and if I show up to this classroom and I'm just hammered to see if I can function and whatever. Like I can't remember what it's called. It was pretty good.
Testing the threshold.
I like that guy, Mads Mikkelsen. You ever see that actor?
No, I don't think so.
Almost
Where
everything
else
I've ever.
would I know him from? Maybe?
He was in. He played Hannibal Lecter, like in that TV series Hannibal. And then he was in this movie called The Hunt that I thought was like really good. About like, God, it was this creepy. It was like a creepy thing.
Did you find him?
I'm finding a picture here for you.
Yeah, he's a pretty unique looking guy.
That guy? You don't have to bring it
Mads
to the camera. I'll
Mikkelsen.
put it on the. I'll put it on the screen there. I
You
don't
don't
know if you
need-
noticed that in the last one. I actually did some editing. For once.
I haven't watched it yet.
Well,
All right, I'll go
that
watch
makes
it tomorrow.
everybody.
Well, I watched the Jim Miller one. I liked that. That was good.
Oh yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was very cool having him on. We got a lot of views on that one, actually. Go figure. Somebody that's been around for forever has a lot of people following him.
Yeah, and you figure I kind of it's like probably because he's I feel like I don't know if he's really like online in that way as much like social media.
Well,
stuff.
nobody's online as much as you. We'll jump to
Me?
that. So you just released your compilation of the 2022 monthly streams. 27 songs on your monthly
Something like
your
that.
monthly thing there.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Like,
Ah.
do you feel burnout from doing that many songs, or just does it make things come easier?
No, because I mean I'm always writing, so it's like there was no real like sometimes I would write a new song from top to bottom. Sometimes it would be some song I had lying around. Also, the nature of doing it as quickly, it's like basically every 2 weeks you gotta like have a new thing. So it's like I didn't really. I don't know. I'm always writing, and I also have a large back catalog of stuff. So it was like I just would. There was no. I didn't really put pressure on myself other than like the deadline. But it was just like whatever popped. The first thing was that popped into my head. I just went with my gut, and I feel like that's like a fun way to work. Often, because I think it's like you practice so that you are in shape for the moment, and it's like then you just hopefully you just. It's like if you whatever you're gonna do automatically off the top of your head, if it's not good enough, then it just means you need to practice more. So I think I sort of like the whole thing was like I think I'm just done because I just want to be.
Yeah.
And it was a COVID thing, so it was sort of a symbol of COVID to me doing those. It was like it started because I was in my house, and it's kind of like we're a little bit now we're more reintegrated back in the world. So I feel like it's like the singles are also a moment that's over for me too.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't really. I'm definitely not burned out by it. Yeah.
Do you ever get?
If anything, it energized me.
You ever get some of them where you're like, I'm not going to release this as a quick thing. This is going to be. I'm just putting this aside to build it up for the future.
There were not so much that, but there were more times where I would do something or have an idea and then I would fail at it because I didn't have the engineering capabilities to do what I wanted to do, or I thought I had an idea and I did it, it didn't work. There's definitely some but I mostly just abandoned them and would move on to something else because of the nature of how quick I was doing it.
Yeah.
Part of it was like trying to keep it light and free, and just and not put too much. But then certain ones would be like, oh God, I there's 30 tracks on this now, or most of them are pretty simple, but like. Sometimes I would get a little bit. What I realized is, I just learned a lot. I didn't know anything about this stuff, but it's funny. The more you add, mixing is really like can be a tough thing if you don't get everything right, like on the way in, kind of.
Yeah.
If you get stuff right on the way in, mixing is pretty easy. But if there's like problems that need to be sussed out because you don't know how to use fucking microphone or something, and there's like buildup of bass in one part, or the room is weird, or I don't know. I don't know. I definitely learned a lot. I could think about the phases of. I don't know. It's cool because I can like think about where I was each month during COVID and shit from the beginning till now.
The blue period.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So you do them all at your place, on your own?
Well, yeah, I did them. I started doing them at my house, and then I was doing some of them at my rehearsal space. I did a lot of them there because we had moved from this room that we had. It was a small room, and I did actually some of them recorded some of them in there. But then we got like this bigger space, like me and Brent Kirby and my brother Russ and Ed Sotelo. We all share like this rehearsal space, and it's cool because it's like this we have like multiple rooms. So it was like I worked in there a lot, and then a couple of them. I'm trying to think. Oh, one of them I recorded in like a cabin that my buddy Elijah has. This A-frame cabin. It's like in West Farmington, Ohio.
Okay, I've been out there shooting clays.
Yeah, it's definitely a place where people shoot a lot of guns. Yeah.
I've got a sister who used to live out there. She's in Hiram now, which I think is like right close there. But I remember the guns.
Yeah, nonstop.
It was cool though
Peacocks
because it was in this cabin, and this was like close to this time last year, and then it was awesome because there's a wood burning stove in there, which made me feel like I was an actual man, And then but then what made me feel not like a man is there was a mouse in the house, and I couldn't sleep because I was freaking out because you just heard it scampering. And I didn't want it to run across my face.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I had that same type of experience. My brother's wedding down in Florida, like he rented some cool house that they did the wedding at and everything, and they were doing all the food was like in the garage area that was attached to where my room was, and people left the door open, and there's a lot of rats down there apparently, and they all came in and they got into the ceiling.
Rats.
Yeah. So like you'd hear rats
That's different. That's way worse.
making noises and running in the ceiling.
I had a rat in my house this year.
Really?
And I'd never like encountered one in the wild before. Because I've known people that have had them as pets and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Michael Jackson, for instance,
Had a rat pet.
he wrote a song called Ben about his pet rat.
Oh.
right.
Now you
I
know
remember
everything.
that in that movie. I remember that in that movie. Yeah.
Then he
Michael
got
Jackson
Bubbles.
movie.
Yeah, the Jackson family, whatever that movie was.
I've
But
never seen that movie.
you never seen that movie? I don't know if it was
but
a
I have
made-for-TV movie or
Sounds
something.
like it would be a Christmas
It
special or
no,
something,
no,
right?
No, it was like a story. It was like
It was
a
a
biopic
Dateline.
about the. It was like a biopic about the Jackson family. The Jackson.
Oh, I remember that.
It was like a. I feel like it was like a
like on
made-for-TV
ABC or
something
something
like that. Yeah, and it was.
I know what you're talking
probably
about,
pretty.
yeah.
I bet if I went back and watched it, it's probably pretty bad. But I used to see it when I was a kid all the time.
I know
But
what you're talking about.
this
now.
big rat.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't, but it was a docuseries about the
Yeah.
Jackson family. It wasn't like a movie they put out during, the 70s.
Yeah, but anyways, I had this big rat in my house. And it was a whole ordeal.
They're
Huge.
scary, man.
Yeah, because they're big.
That big?
Yeah,
They're
probably.
big.
I swear he was this big. I mean, it was like the size of he's probably half the size of a normal cat. He was that big. And he because the thing is, and he
Did
got
they
in.
bite? Did
No,
they bite or something?
It
or they
didn't
just-
bite me. It just
can.
it went out under the door. It can get real small. They can get
Skinny.
they can go through the size of a quarter or something.
Yeah, like an octopus. Those things are aliens, man.
Well, I was just talking about
I
that
saw one
the
the
other
other
day.
day.
An octopus?
I took my girlfriend and kid to the aquarium
Oh,
for
cool.
the day after Christmas.
Nice.
They have a huge octopus there. That just you could spend like a half hour just looking at this thing.
Yeah, they're wild. Because what's the thing about them too? Like, each one of their brain is in their whole body. Or
Right,
something.
yeah, don't they have
It's like in there.
Part of it,
Yeah,
each
it's-
tentacle there.
Yeah.
They have that going on. They can get really tiny.
Yeah.
And there's some documentary my wife and I saw. I gotta
Was
remember
it
what
that
it's
My
called.
Octopus Teacher where that guy would go visit the octopus
Yes.
every day?
Yeah, I saw
It
that.
was
It's
like
amazing.
questionable, like whether he should have been doing that or not in some ways, but really was, a weirdly emotional documentary.
Yeah.
It was really heartbreaking.
Yeah. That thing picking up
I
all the
remember it.
shells and hiding and stuff.
Yeah,
Like a suit armor.
Yeah.
yeah, you look at something like that and you're like, that thing's absolutely as intelligent as us. It's just like more of a natural phenomenon that works in concordance with nature instead of hiding in a shack. But yeah, I saw stuff in the ocean. Like I love orca whales too. They're not actually whales, but orcas.
Yeah.
Because they're like maybe like the smartest animals on the planet in some ways.
So they're not technically whales.
They belong to
They're
like
shark family.
no
are
they're,
right?
they're like dolphins.
Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah, they are mammals.
Yeah,
you're right.
Okay,
I
yeah.
can't remember what the
Yeah.
thing is, but
They're with the porpoises and
yeah.
the dolphins. All right. I can see that.
Yeah, I always hear about how dolphins are really intelligent and have huge brains. So, like,
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also have sex for fun. Like they're one
I've
of
heard
the
that. Yeah.
one of the only
other
animals
species
that,
Which
Yeah.
takes,
For
which
pleasure.
sort of takes, I think it sort of takes a high, it's a high concept,
yeah, yeah, beyond survival.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually doing things because they feel good,
Yeah.
Lord,
Who
like-
else does that is bonobos. You ever seen those? They're chimps, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they, not only do they do it for fun, but they also use it as currency.
right.
Yeah, just weird.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, they use it to barter and stuff, yeah. They really do.
That's hilarious.
You give me one of those bananas, I'll fucking suck your cock for it.
A banana for a banana.
Yeah.
It's an even trade, man. Yeah.
I'd
So-
say so. Bananas are awesome.
No.
So everybody, thank you for tuning in to Wild Animal Kingdom, Cleveland, Ohio
I know,
edition.
this is a music podcast. It's non-experts talk about animals.
I like that. Tom.
Yeah, stay tuned for a fact-checking episode, which will be longer than this.
I'm not editing that. It'll be way longer than this.
Yeah. You don't know this is the Cuyahoga Sound podcast. Yeah, I'm Evan. This is Chuck,
Hey.
and we
All
got
right.
Ray Flanagan in here.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah.
How's everything going? It seems like you guys are like I mean, I know you guys are plugging away. It seems like it's probably. Does it feel like it's getting better?
We are the 4th-rated Cleveland music podcast according to our parents.
Your parents watch that many Cleveland music pod?
My dad might.
Wow.
My dad might. He likes
That's
and
great.
shares.
Well, did you play on New Year's, Christmas at all?
I played New Year's Eve with Bad Juju. That's my first New Year's Eve gig I've done in 20-some years of gigging.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I played it on bass, which it's only my 3rd time playing bass.
Where did you guys play?
We were at My Corner Bar in Parma.
Okay. Sounds fun.
Yeah, it was an all right place.
Yeah.
Everybody got way into it, and then like it just came down to the Ohio State game that was like at midnight. The kick was at midnight, so I'm like, are we going to be playing late or are we going to be going home early? Wide left said we were going home early that night.
I was at one of my friends' shows. I remember the countdown, and I think they were playing "Bottom of a Bottle" by Smile Empty Soul
Oh my god.
at midnight.
Wow.
That's horrifying.
Did you go see
I think I opened
Ryan
for that band
Seacow?
once.
Probably, yeah.
Smile
See what?
Empty
Did you
Soul.
go see Ryan Seacow get dropped for
Oh
New
no,
Year's at the McFarland
we
Man?
We stayed close. We went to some bar in Painesville.
Okay.
But yeah, I was thinking of going out to the McFarland Manor
Mm.
because I had never been to one of those New Year's.
It looked like a
things.
cool show. If I didn't have a gig, I'd be down for that for sure.
Yeah, those are cool. Yeah.
I had a gig the day before. We played at a place in the same town in Painesville for a packed house.
Nice. Fish bar there?
Fish bar, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Some of those 4-hour sets. We played like old stuff, new stuff, jams, and covers.
Cool.
Yeah. How's the turnout the night before New Year's Eve?
It was packed.
Yeah.
Well, this is the same place we have our open jam every
Okay.
Thursday, so they know us there. And like,
Yeah,
we,
and that's kind of like a
it's almost like a home
it's
show.
kind of like the
Yeah.
neighborhood spot kind of there too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not hard to get to if you've never been there from wherever you are. It's right off the highway.
Yeah, Richmond Street, right off of Route 2. You're there as soon as you get off that exit.
Yeah. What about you, Ray? You gig every day, don't you?
Oh, New Year's? I played at
Had
Coda.
7 gigs.
on New Year's. I played Coda. It was fun. I had
Oh,
fun.
I think I saw a video. Was Anthony playing bass?
Yeah, and Boda played drums. We had so much fun.
I didn't think that was him back there.
Yeah, I know. It was everybody was out of place. It was pretty funny. Yeah, it was pretty funny. We had a lot of fun. I mean, it was like by the time we played, because we played last, it was like kind of like it had cleared out. Like there was like, I mean, there were people there, but it was like small. But the people that were there, we had like a lot of fun. I think I fucked up the. It was my job to do the countdown at midnight. And I had the time.gov, like atomic clock up on my phone.
Yeah.
And then we played a song and I was like, oh, it's got to be getting close. I'm like, oh, fuck, it's like 11. And then, of course, like it was stuck. So I had to like reload it. And I was like, and then when it reloaded it, I was like, 10-9-8, Happy New Year. And everybody was like, you fucked it up. I was like, who cares?
They fucked it up on TV too. I saw that. Like,
Did they?
CNN, man. The anchor on CNN, he was busy
He was
dancing.
late.
He was supposed to be doing the countdown. He was having his own dance party going on
Yeah.
there.
That's a sign of, maybe it's just a sign of the coming off the last 2 years of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
like,
cares?
just another year.
Everything's
Right, yeah.
chill. We need to stop putting so much pressure on these fucking holidays.
2020 again. All right.
I do feel like the holidays is too much pressure on people.
It is, and it's too expensive.
Yeah, that's an aspect of it. It's just
My wife's birthday is 2 days after Christmas. So like we were trying to plan a birthday party for her and it's like impossible.
God,
2 days
yeah.
after Christmas and 4 days before New Year's.
Yeah.
Like trying to get people out.
I never have birthday party either. Me and my girlfriend have 22nd and 23rd in November back to back, and it's always right before Thanksgiving. So
Are you 22nd?
I'm the 23rd.
Oh, hey, my dad's 22nd.
Oh, okay. Happy
dad's-
birthday.
And Brent Kirby's the 22nd.
Oh, I think we found that out.
And then it's
When,
also the day that John F. Kennedy was murdered by the government.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they just released a bunch
been
of
there. I've been to
new
that
new
site.
files on
I know
that.
Oliver Stone's all over it.
Basically,
You know it.
they're like, yeah, you know.
It's like everyone knows what
I mean,
happened.
the thing about it is, we don't need to start talking about John F. Kennedy, but this is the conspiracy we were going to talk about.
We're done with
yeah,
peacocks?
Yeah.
We'll get to peacocks again
I don't
next.
know. Yeah,
Circling around.
it seems like because there was kind of no precedent for there being, you know what I mean, like the Zapruder film or whatever. It's like nowadays the way that they botched that would never work.
Yeah.
Because they did it in broad daylight in front of everybody. And I don't know, but it's like, and then it's like for all that stuff to hide all the document. I don't know. I don't want to start getting into the conspiracy of it, but I go like, it seems like pretty clear that there's more going on here than just some guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was apparently a master marksman, up in the yeah.
I love that they were supposed to release the documents like 2020, and they're like, we can't COVID. And then 2021, they're like, COVID, we can't release these documents. 2022. I guess we'll release some of the documents.
Now that nobody cares. Yeah.
What can be done if
Oh.
Whoa. What? All right.
Is there
Take
more
two.
people here?
Yeah, my wife's here somewhere.
Okay. Is she alive?
We're talking too much about JFK. They're coming in, man.
The government.
The government's at the door.
Wow. They just broke. Yeah, somebody came in on a roach.
What can even be done? If that gets proven in the court of law, it was 50, 60 years ago.
Nothing.
All new people in the government right now.
Yeah.
And just okay.
Yeah, oops, my bad.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we don't do anything like that anymore.
Yeah, we're done.
We're done with that. We learned our lesson.
We're at least a lot smarter about the way we go about it.
Yeah.
You'll never catch us doing anything like that.
Yeah.
Keyword.
Yeah, you'll never.
We all caught it. Well, what else?
Peacocks.
Peacocks.
Cool.
I like that Smurfs are saving rock and roll in that.
Yeah, that is the the kick drum head from my first drum set.
Oh, it's a drum head. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was Smurf your band?
That was 1983 or 84. And those are paper drum heads. So when I kicked through that one, I got it a better drum set.
Oh.
My bass drum pedal went through the other side on that one. The
I
Toys
didn't know
R
there
Us.
were paper drum heads.
Oh, I went right through them, man. Yeah, they put paper drum heads on these things. Some Toys R Us purchase, I'm sure.
Oh.
Actually, pre-Toys R Us, there was Kitty City. My mom worked
Kitty
there,
City.
so I think we got it from Kitty City. It'd be my guess. A little young to remember, but
Was that also from the Michael Jackson documentary?
yeah, I think so. That was around back.
That was
He had Epcot and Kitty City.
Yeah.
Ewok Adventure right next door. That was all the same kids that were in.
Hey, Ray, do you remember the movie recommendation you made to us at all?
I don't remember.
It was called Mandy.
Oh yeah, of course. I love Mandy. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Did you watch it? Did you watch it?
I wish
I
I
gotta give me a
didn't watch
recap
it.
now.
Oh, it's like maximum Nick Cage, basically. I describe it. It's like, wow. I feel like I talked about this on the last podcast probably, and I'm going to talk about it again, and I will talk about it until the day I die. I've watched that movie probably 10 times.
I would watch it again. I've only seen it
I'm
the
making
one time.
myself
It's-
a note to
Mandy.
check it out.
I just, for some reason,
It's really funny.
it's
it's
just
not- it's not a funny movie.
Yes.
it's just unlike anything I've ever seen, and it's just so, I feel like just masterfully pulled off, because it's really amazing, piece of, to me it is amazing piece of cinema, but it's
There's so many awful
it's a
things about
slow burn, it's so slow in the beginning. It's so slow, and then when it kicks in, it just never
it, too.
stops.
It goes from 0 to 60.
Very fast, and it's a drug movie too. So it's what's cool about the drugs in the movie is all of them are nondescript. You're it's a lot of psychedelic stuff, but it's the stuff that they take and the drugs that they smoke and whatever. It's you don't really know what it is. It's
Okay.
it's that seems he's doing acid, but they're not calling it that, and it's some substance that's mystic. Everything's sort of mystical and it's kind of a heavy metal movie too. That's why I liked it. It was there's an aspect of it that was I don't know. Yeah, I would recommend that movie to anybody that hasn't seen it. It's disturbing too. I mean, it's really disturbing. Some of the stuff is I mean, basically, this isn't really even a spoiler thing because this happens. This is what the movie's about. I shouldn't spoil it. Watch Mandy.
You gotta see. You gotta see.
Yeah. I recommend it.
Even the way you described it the first time, like I didn't expect what.
There's almost no way to describe that movie if you've not seen it. Like it blew my mind, and every time I see it, I enjoy it. It's like I look forward to watching it again, just because once you know, it's like somehow better when you know what's gonna happen. The first time you like watch and you're like, what the fuck just happened? But then it's like you watch it. I don't know. To me.
Oh, I understand.
Because I watched that other movie.
I'm gonna have to watch it a second
I watched
time.
that other movie, Pig, that has Nick Cage in it, where it's about somebody takes his pet pig and he gets all mad. He's like, "Give me my pig back!" Right? I don't know. But
Wait, wasn't that the Simpsons movie?
Yeah, well, but that movie, I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as Mandy. And Nick Cage is really in some weird resurgence right now, where he's like leaning into being a caricature of himself.
Yeah, he's
Because
like,
what was that other movie?
He's a meme. Like he's embracing the meme.
That other movie that he had, it was like something like the overwhelming weight of extreme talent or something like that, where he plays himself playing himself. Did you hear about that?
No.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch it because I was just like, this is just too much for me. But
What was that movie in the last couple years where he was like a fire or a flame or something? Or
Ghost Rider?
No, he was like.
that was a while ago.
Towards
Yeah.
okay.
no, Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider was
But
a
that's
while
not what
ago.
you're talking about though.
No, they like go through the whole
I can't
movie
keep up with
and then
him.
like
It
he's
seems like he just takes every role that gets done. Yeah.
he's like their god or something at the end, or like their boss. But like they communicate to him through a flame or a glowing frame or something. I don't remember. I just remember it was his face, and like nobody expected it to be his face.
Oh no, I
Remember
don't know.
in Wedding Crashers where Will Ferrell shows up towards the end as like the guy that crashes funerals?
Yeah.
It was kind of like that.
Oh.
Okay.
But where like you just didn't expect it to be him, and that was what was funny about it.
Where do you guys find out about new movies? Because I don't see ads for movies at all anymore. The only
I
movie I've seen
watched-
an ad for was the new Top
I
Gun.
listened
It's
to Kyle
hard.
Hagasan podcast at the end of the episode.
It's hard because well, I don't know how to keep up with new movies.
Yeah.
It's like
They
you
just-
hear about them basically because they're on the front page of the streaming service, whatever they want you to watch.
Yeah, they give you ads like, here, we think you might like this. Oh, okay, I'll watch
Yeah, every once in a while I'll check on like what's in theaters.
Yeah.
I don't go to the movies that often, but I do love going to like. Yeah, like I don't know. I'm trying to think of the last time I went to the theater.
We were gonna go like Christmas, but like she's like, "What's playing?" I'm like, "I have no idea."
There's
I
really
have
nothing
no idea
like
what's
it
been
though,
on.
you know. It's really like when you go see it in a theater, like. Cause I've also went. Cause I enjoy Quentin Tarantino, you know. Like I'm not like a nut about his stuff, but like I saw Hateful Eight when it came out in theaters, and I was like, I thought it was amazing, that movie.
Yeah.
And I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in theaters too. But something about it's like going to the theater for something. It's like it's a different experience, you know. And I notice it because I like watch movies like in my room with headphones on my laptop, or like watch
Yeah.
movies like in my living room on I have like a smaller flat screen TV, but it's like it's not the same, you know. Like when you're like
Yeah,
first of all, it's like the thing about the theater too is like you're there for the activity, you know what I mean? You're not on your phone. You're there, and it's an experience, you know? I should go to the movies more, I think.
Yeah.
Last one I went and saw was they did the Beatles rooftop concert at IMAX.
Oh, wow.
That was pretty cool.
That had to be cool, yeah.
It was, like, just sitting back and watching that whole thing. I wish they would have.
IMAX is a completely different experience.
Well, they showed it. They showed it the
theaters.
same way it was.
I've only been there once.
In the Get Back movie. I was hoping it was going to be just the concert and not like cutting down to the cops downstairs and stuff.
Oh.
But it was still very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually went there with our last guest, Dennis Davis. Check that out.
Nice. Do you guys do a movie recommendation at the end?
Yeah.
Most of the time, but
Because I have one. I do.
I have one this time too.
Oh, really?
I'm not going to have one
Okay.
for the next show. But.
Yeah. Maybe a couple actually.
All right.
But did you guys see that movie Barbarian?
No, I heard about it.
I think it's on HBO. I liked it. I liked it a lot. As far as a horror movie goes, that like I watched so many horror movies this like October season, and that one was like pretty. I thought it was pretty original. I really liked
Barbarian.
it. Yeah, and it has this. It's like another thing where it starts out one way, and then when it kicks in, it actually shocked me. The moment where it actually shocked me, which is pretty rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough to do in movies. Like,
I know I've seen them, but I can't remember. Like, nothing's coming to mind right now of like something I saw that was spectacular. That like, oh, I gotta see that again.
I just watched This Place Rules.
What's that?
So do you know who Andrew Callahan is? He was originally All Gas No Brakes was his channel.
Okay. Sounds familiar.
So he goes out and just interviews people at events that happened, and it could be like he was there for the riots in Minneapolis. He went to
I've
Trump
definitely seen some of
rallies.
his
He
shoots.
goes to conspiracy theory rallies in Vegas and furry conventions. He goes wherever
He
there's
just
something
interviews
going
people.
on. And he just interviews people, and his thing about his interviewing style is just stick the mic in their face and let them talk. Like, don't do anything else with it. So he had All Gas No Brakes. He was signed on with another like internet company, and they basically stole that from him. So now he's Channel 5 is his like thing that he owns. But he had been going around to all these like the Trump rallies leading up to the election. And then he was also going to the post-election rallies and hanging out with Alex Jones, like drinking with Alex Jones and like lifting weights with them, and like Roger Stone and all these other guys that were all part of like what all led up to it. And then he came to the Capitol for that and was like filming outside and just interviewing people. It was pretty nuts.
Whoa.
Like, and talking to like these families that are convinced that everybody is a lizard person, and like we pulled our kids out of school so they can learn the truth about lizard people.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's something else, man. It's really something else. He wanted to change. I forgot what the original name was, but the only thing that HBO made him change was the name because it was not This Place Rules.
It's called Channel 5.
Channel 5 is the name of like his product. Like he does a Patreon page and stuff like that.
Okay.
He puts some videos out on YouTube. It was originally All Gas No Brakes, and he goes to NASCAR races and interviews people that are tailgating at those things. So like some of it's not the political stuff. It's not so serious. He was just at something where he was just at like some fetish convention, and interviewing a guy that's getting pissed on his face. Well, during the middle of the interview. So,
Have you guys ever seen that Chuck Berry piss tape?
I have not.
You heard about it?
I've heard about it. Yes.
I have not.
Well, the piss
I
tape.
haven't heard anything.
Yeah,
This is all
if you
education.
don't, yeah,
R. Kelly is
in
just
the-
a wannabe, man.
in the '90s. Well, fuck R. Kelly, but because that's fucked up. But this is not that this is, but at least this is like adults, and I think he probably paid this woman to do this, so whatever. But I'm not gonna judge it. I'm gonna make judgments about it. I'm just
he was
gonna say what happened.
videotaping.
Because an IRS or something went through it, raided his house in the early '90s or something, and they found this like tape of him. These tapes of him. And it's like, dude, I mean, to watch him, you don't need to really watch him. What's funny about him?
Does he duck walk?
What's funny about it is that somebody on the internet just transcribed the dialogue.
Oh.
So you don't. That's funnier than watching the video. You watch the video, you're like, this is just weird, But the person, whoever did this, is a hero because just the dialogue is unbelievable. I've read it at least. The video is like, the one video, he's peeing on this girl, and the transcript of it is like, basically like, oh yeah, you like my piss or whatever. You tell me you love me, and she's like, yeah, I love you, whatever. And she's like just going along with it because apparently I think she's just a hooker, like she's paid to be there probably. So. And blah blah. You do love me? She's like, yeah, very much. Whatever. He's like, oh yeah, and then whatever. So, and then he's like, at the end, then his mood changes, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, he's like, did I piss all over you? And she's like, yeah, you did. You know, he's like, and he like hands her this towel to wipe her face off, whatever, and then he apparently leans in to kiss her and goes, I'm sorry, I can't kiss you, baby. You smell like piss. It's like the most, like, what the fuck? Like, that's so fucked. The other thing he does is he farts in her face. And he says, you can eat my fart. Chuck Berry, king of rock and roll.
We need a shirt that says Chuck Berry, king of rock and roll. I
don't really think that's...
You can eat my fart coming out of his mouth.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I think he just...
Merch drop.
God, that's just too much of a power trip, you know? I don't think you should go
I'm
out
disturbed
doing
a little bit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I love Chuck Berry's music, you know, but God,
like
most of
it.
There's certain ones I skip. There's certain songs. It's because all those old songs that are about girls that are 16.
Yeah,
it's hard, you know.
I mean, everything from before like 74 was about 16.
They're all 16, yeah.
You know, then you moved up to 17 until Winger.
She's only 17. It's like, all right, buddy, it's about to be 1990. You know, like
I opened for Winger a couple years ago.
Oh, really?
And he sings.
Do they still do that song?
He sings it now with the lyric as if when she was 17 at that time, how old she is now. So whatever it was, it's like she's only 47.
Way to cover your tracks, Kip.
Yeah. They were actually a super friendly band, super nice dudes, and can absolutely shred their instruments.
They're definitely better players than the other hair metal bands.
They're ridiculously good.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were, you know, we were just opening. It's like a Southern rock tribute band.
Oh yeah.
I was having a good night that night. I remember I was playing really well and doing all my stuff. And some dude just kept yelling out drum solo. And for those that don't know, like Rod Morgenstein, the drummer from Winger, like he was Modern Drummer's Drummer of the Year like 6 years in a row. The guy's just like an absolute animal.
He's like kind of a prog rock guy too.
And he's standing like right here while this guy's yelling for me to do a drum solo. I'm like, you gotta be out of your fucking mind if you think I'm gonna touch a drum solo right now.
I think I know somebody that hired him for something. Played on some track.
Yeah, he lives in New York, I think, and he's a professor maybe at NYU.
Oh, okay. Does he teach music?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But he flies out, like they do Winger gigs just on weekends, and he flies out and does those. Yeah, it was something. They were really nice dudes. I videotaped them when they were doing their sound check, and they came over afterwards. Like, don't put that out.
I seem to remember him when I was in high school. I was like a big prog rock nerd, so I was like super into Dream Theater, and their keyboard player, this dude Jordan Rudess, whatever you say his name. He put out some album. I'm pretty sure that Rod Morgenstein played drums on it.
Possibly.
I think they did like a cover of Carcass by Emerson, Lake and Palmer or something. It's just like, I don't understand why you would do that, but they did it. It's a 20-minute.
Because they can.
Yes, they can. Yeah. But
if you want to do it, you can do it.
Yeah, dude's a lefty drummer. Like, he's ridiculously good. They were playing Headed for the Heartbreak, which is just a slower tune, but at the end it's really open and you can do whatever.
Yeah.
He's hitting these fills that, like, I was just sitting back there laughing. Like, I got to sit right behind him watching. It was awesome. But, like, just laughing with, like, I could practice that lick for every day for the rest of the time and not hit it the way he just hit that off the cuff. Like, ridiculously.
Do you
good.
have favorite drummers that inspire you or that have maybe formed like when you were younger or something?
Yeah, I'd say like
I know you probably like all kinds of people, but it's
John Bonham is definitely like the one that I was like, oh,
when you were younger.
Yeah, and Alex Van Halen, and actually
that's cool.
That's actually who I play the most. Like when I hear myself recorded back, I'm like, I hear Alex.
That's
Van
cool.
Halen.
I always feel like Alex. Didn't. I mean, it's not like he's Alex Van Halen, but it's like it's like everybody's overshadowed by Eddie sometimes. But it's like Alex. Nobody plays like Alex. Nobody sounds the tone of his drums is just as recognizable as the tone of Eddie's guitar.
As soon as you hear that snare drum, you know
and just that's the core of that. The core of that band to me is like Eddie and Alex playing together.
Yeah,
that's like where everything's happening.
And that's the same thing with Bonham. Like what I kind of realized recently is that the drummers that I'm attracted to are more staying in the groove with the guitar player than the bass player. Like the ones that stay locked with the bass player.
It's the same with like Charlie and Keith. Charlie Watts and Keith Richards
Yeah.
too. It's the same. It's like Keith plays with Charlie.
Yeah.
Like and that's like, and then the bass is like locked into that thing. But there is something to that. I think.
Yeah,
like,
that call and response between drums and guitar that you just don't get.
Yeah.
And I've like recognized. I think it was because like when I started playing out of the house, it was always at my buddy's house that was a guitar player.
Yeah.
So we would just like trade.
What do you think
Sabbath
about 5150? Because
stuff.
sometimes there's some of the drum sounds on there. I'm like, God, there's some new toys and they just used them.
Yeah, they definitely
don't
used
hold up.
everything.
You know,
I had heard that the kick drum sounds in 1984 for Hot for Teacher were sampled off of Alex's Lamborghini that he just got. And
really?
Yeah. So like part of the exhaust sound, he sampled into the kick drum. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know that. Yeah.
But he had done that because
that part is overdubbed, right?
No, he's playing that all at once.
The Hot for Teacher thing?
Yeah, he plays that whole intro. It starts with the floor toms and then crossovers on the rack tom, but he's playing the shuffle beat that kicks in later. And that kick drum shuffle beat is supposed to be sampled from his Lamborghini. And he did that because in Panama, when you hear the car revving, that's Eddie's Ferrari.
That's Eddie's guitar. Yeah, his car. Yeah,
so he was like, well, I got to throw something in there, too.
I didn't know that. Yeah. I love Van Halen, man. That's like ultimate summertime music.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like,
and then and it even kept like the summertime music without while totally changing the vibe when it switched to Sammy. Like it's still summertime music, but it's a different vibe.
Sammy's a little more earnest.
Yeah.
He's a little more, his heart's a little more there.
Yeah.
Dave's like, he's just a fucking, I mean, there's nothing like that shit. Like the Daily Roth, I mean, I don't care what anybody says. Like, because the songs are great. Like, that's really the thing. It's like, Dance the Night Away. I wish I wrote that song.
Fantastic.
It's fucking incredible song.
Fantastic.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, you got this great band, and you're like starting with a hi-hat and a cowbell.
I was hammered the other night, and me and my buddy Anthony Papaleo that I live with, he was like playing it on piano, and I was like I started it, and then I was just like fucking drunk and singing. Have you seen her so fine and pretty, moving with the style? I just love that song, dude. It's such a good song, dude. And then Van Halen always has like weird, like the pre-chorus of that song is so strange. Dun, 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 dun. But it's like the music behind it is a little off.
Stop.
Yeah,
got the stops there.
And because there's certain other ones, I'm trying to think of like examples like off the top of my head. There's another one that I could. It always fucks me up, like as to what they're actually doing. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. If I think of it,
if it's early Van Halen, I can help you for sure.
No, I know it. No, it's something like, dude. It's like I got Dance the Night Away stuck in my head. It's
not a bad thing,
dude. It might be like Unchained.
Okay.
The pre-chorus to Unchained is weird as fuck too.
Yeah, well, that whole song's kind of weird, but yeah.
Yeah.
Thought you'd never miss me till I got a fancy address.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like this weird. The timing, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always like, what's actually?
And then it's got that stop beat again.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah. But it feels good though. It's not like it's not doing like proggy, like where it's like tricking you and making you feel like, what the fuck.
That's the best thing where you're like, wait, that's in 7 or something?
It still has I don't even know if it is. Is it in
I
don't
no
even
idea,
know. Yeah. Van Halen's great, dude. I like I appreciate them more and more. I honestly, because when I was younger, I was more of a Randy Rhoads kid, kind of. I also felt like I could, like, the Randy Rhoads stuff was more like A to B, like in terms of like learning it and learning how to play it. His solos were like more conventional in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think they're like perfect, most of them.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that he was able to finish, because it's like some of the stuff on Diary of a Madman was like, what I've read about it, and you can kind of tell, like, are you an Ozzy fan too?
Yeah.
Like a Believer. The solo is almost, the Believer, but it's almost the same as the solo when it comes in. You probably won't think of it as, but it's almost the same as Mr. Crowley. It's like almost the same solo.
It is. It's very close.
The way that it starts, and then
like, it breaks off.
And I remember reading in Randy Rhoads like the Little Dolls. weird song.
Yeah.
Yeah. That he didn't, because they made Diary of a Madman very fast, and then they had to go on tour, and there was like a deadline. He didn't get to finish a lot of the. And so Little Dolls was when he was disappointed in. It was like a guide solo. And you can hear it. He almost doesn't play anything in that song. It was just like something he put down and was going to go write a solo and bring it back and never got to.
Yeah.
Whereas like everything on Blizzard is like mind-blowing kind of. But Eddie, like, to this day, I just like, I just feel like it's a futile effort to like try and learn what he did.
His rhythm playing is so good too. That's like his
solos
are crazy, but like
his whole thing, it's just his hand, his right hand, and just in general. I just always kind of looked at it as like that's just his. Even when I just was like that's just that dude's thing.
He even has a pick different.
It doesn't. Oh really?
Middle finger, yeah. Instead of using the pointer, he used middle.
Oh, do you always play like that, or?
I play usually with both, and
with
sometimes
both?
take that
Okay.
off. But yeah, Eddie plays with the middle and the thumb holding the pick.
It is interesting to watch him because he doesn't anchor his hand at all either.
Yeah.
But he does something.
When he starts doing that high stuff, and he's just.
But he does something that I recognize, which is really important in general, which is that just in general, picking with a flat pick on a guitar, it's like this is the motion. It's not this. It's like this is the motion.
Yeah.
And to keep it loose and the effort that it takes to pull it to go din 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 and to go. It's like it's the same. It's not much more energy.
Yeah.
And it's like about being relaxed. And if you watch Eddie, he's always like super relaxed. He has the same like amazing technique that like a great like bluegrass flat picker or a jazz guy has, just with this in terms of how relaxed he was.
Yeah.
And that's why it always everything. Like everybody in the '80s tried to copy Eddie Van Halen, but he's the only one that really ever, to me, like where it just sounded effortless, because it was just expressive, and it wasn't about the speed and stuff. It was just like Eddie being expressive.
You could tell he was just living with his guitar
and
by his side.
Totally had to do with that guitar that he had. You can't really do that unless you had that. Like it's about which is there's something about having parameters and limitations that makes you. It's that necessity is the mother of invention thing. That simple guitar that he had, which was set up exactly however he liked it, and he obviously like made it the way he wanted it, and was a master at that as well. You know, because like it gets telling from his like friendship with Les Paul and stuff that Eddie like really knew about
tinkering and
his.
You ever see like he had a patent for the thing that laid the guitar out, like it was a fold out like stand on the back.
Oh really?
And he actually put it on one of the guitars where like, it would hold it out flat, so it was almost like a lap steel on the strap.
Oh.
And he could do tapping there, like switching hands and everything.
I never saw that.
He did that, and I think like he's credited with that D-Tuna thing too.
I think I knew that. Yeah.
But yeah.
And lots of people use that thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got a Floyd and you're doing, if you have a Floyd, you're probably going to do drop D at some point. You know?
Yeah.
Nice thing to have, and then get a 1978 quarter and wedge it up under the low E on your bridge to level it out. That's what he had on Frankenstein. 3 extra holes in it. I actually had built like an exact replica of that, and some dude offered me some good money for it, so it's not here.
Oh wow!
But I think I might build another one. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to do. I actually have a bunch.
Was that up here the first few months of the podcast? Or
No, I'd already had it. It had been gone. I got rid of it in like 2018. But I actually have.
Like picture this basement without it at one point.
I remember. I have in the garage a whole bunch of. He has reflectors on the back of that thing.
Hung where that Rickenbacker is.
And that's exactly where it was. The reflectors that were on the $25,000 Fender Custom Shop copy were the wrong pattern. Because the reflectors he had were from the 70s and they're not like DOT legal anymore.
Oh.
So I bought these ones that were like old stock that are the actual reflectors. So like my version was more accurate than
the Fender Custom
than the
Shop.
Fender $25,000 Custom Shop.
Fender Custom Shop.
I even bought.
Stop making guitars for lawyers and doctors.
Tucked in the middle pickup spot, he has a broken 3-way CRL switch from a Strat, like one of the 3-way switches from the early 60s. That's broken and then like tucked in there with a bunch of wires. Like I knotted the wires in the same knot. I actually bought an old stock 60s switch and broke it, which was not fun to do.
You did this just because it was fun?
Yeah, I love doing it.
That's cool, yeah.
It was a blast. So he has that quarter on the body of it.
Right.
In order to line up the stripes, what I was doing was blowing up on my computer screen his guitar picture so that the quarter was the same size as mine. And then I'd lay a piece of glass on there and trace with like a Sharpie where the lines were. And then I could lay them all out with the masking tape, pull it off of that, and then drop it right on my guitar so it was taped off perfect. It was a lot of fun. It took me months. It took me months to build it, but it was a blast.
Yeah.
I'm going to do another one.
You should.
That's it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's happening. Maybe I'll make a series of doing it. Make a video series.
You should make a different one. Like the Bumblebee one or something.
Yeah, the Bumblebee's pretty cool. That's Buried with Dimebag.
No,
Yeah.
Which he deserves. Because, funny enough, I feel like maybe you're going to say the same thing as me, but well, maybe not. But for me, I always think of Pantera like an extension of Van Halen.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like Eddie and Alex, Diamond Vinny. And Diamond Vinny like play a lot like Eddie and Alex.
They do.
And it's funny about Pantera because I'm a big fan. I know there's lots of controversy.
I've got a Dimebag pick upstairs that I got from him.
You got from him? He gave to you?
He gave to me at Ozfest 2000.
Oh, you were dude. That video I used to watch that all the time of them playing it. Dude, yesterday don't mean shit. Yeah.
If you look closely, I'm smashed up against the wall, and at some point I was just like smashed there, and Dime laughed.
That's awesome.
Me a pick.
Yeah.
And I stuffed it in my sock so nobody would grab the thing.
But I like. There's so many dimensions to Pantera that because I always felt like they had this party energy as a band. Like it was like there was like Van Halen. They were kind of a party band, and even like coming from like their days in the '80s, like they kind of were that.
Yeah.
It's party like rock and roll band. Pantera like has elements where it's like they're like a rock and roll band. It's almost like. Okay, yeah, it's metal. But it's like there's a lot more going on in terms of the groove and stuff than like most metal bands. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like it has there's a swagger. There's like a swing to a lot of Pantera stuff, but like but then my favorite part of that band in some ways is honestly Phil.
Yeah,
because he took like they had that energy. And it works for that. Like if you just want to like have a good time, like it kind of like it kicks ass. So that's checked off. But then like Phil's lyrics, he would talk about like really serious, dark stuff, and it gave it this other dimension of like this party kind of like music, this aggressive music with this like agonizing, guttural like explorations of like just like stuff that I feel like is like hard to talk about. I feel like Phil talked about a lot of stuff that was like hard to talk, really personal stuff that was like hard to talk about. And he did it in a really poetic way. I always admired him as a writer, Phil Anselmo. I love like Down too. Like
Down's fantastic. Yeah. It's got more like the grunge lyrics on that heavy metal thing, and then Dime's throwing in the weird like
because there's definitely stuff in common with Pantera and like Alice in Chains, kind of.
Yeah.
There's things in common with them. I know Dimebag was like a fan too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's funny. Yeah, Pantera to me is like Vinny and Vinny and Dime are like Eddie and Alex to me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think Eddie saw that too, and I think that's why why that's where the guitar is now.
Yeah.
He saw that.
They definitely like Van Halen birthed Pantera.
Oh yeah.
It was like.
Have you seen videos of like Dime when he was like 16?
Yeah,
at the talent show.
Yeah, and he's because I love that story that like they had to tell him to stop coming because he won it like 4 years in a row or something, and they tell him to stop coming. But like. Dude, I mean, you look at it, he was a freak too. Like, I mean, just the effortlessness of him. Like, it's like the way you hear like every guitar player play Eruption and like nobody can do it. It's like, but like Dime could like kind of do it in his own way, which is what was important about him.
Right.
Was like he took it and then he did his own thing with it. It wasn't about like. Trying to do what Eddie did. It was just inspired by it.
Taken from that, have you seen the new Pantera stuff?
I am aware of it. I think maybe that's fun if I mean, I know like fans, people that are like really hardcore fans are probably gonna want to see that, whatever. But like, I am conflicted about how I feel about it. It's funny. I just watched that. I don't know if it was Gibson or something. Did like an hour-long interview with Rex Brown.
And now he's bald in the videos.
Did
I
you
saw
see that?
Yeah,
I thought
saw
it was
the Gibson
fantastic.
thing. Yeah.
I thought he was such a cool guy.
Yeah.
I've always thought Rex is a cool guy from like anything I've ever seen. Also, because he's got his own perspective. He's kind of like maybe like he seems like the quiet one,
right?
Or whatever.
Yeah.
No, he's probably not. But like,
comparatively,
he's just the one that gets the least attention, probably. But I just lost my train of thought.
we were talking about the Pantera.
Oh, the
new
Pantera
shows.
reunion stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think they're putting it together more as a tribute, not as a reunion.
Yeah, I'm
know
confused.
about it.
Are they? What are they?
What's
What are they
playing?
calling it?
They're calling it Pantera.
See, that's what I don't like about it.
I think they're calling it's either they're calling it Pantera or they're labeling it as Cowboys from Hell.
It's like this thing that's been talked about for like years and years and years, which is, oh, Zach Wilde was friends with Dimebag. Let's get him. And in some ways, because of their relationship, it like makes most sense for it to be him.
Well, tell you what though, Charlie on drums,
Charlie Benante,
he is nailing Vinnie Paul.
I know those guys are killing it. I saw some clips. I was like, yeah, and it's it's just funny because it's just like, I mean, it's like, it is like as much as I just said like Phil's my favorite part of Pantera to me, like personally, I admire him as a writer because I love Down too, and I love some of his other projects. But it's like, imagine going to see Van Halen without Eddie or Alex.
Yeah.
That's my own problem that I have about viewing it that way. But it's like, it's like Diamond Vinny. It's like, I just don't think, like if Vinnie Paul was alive, this wouldn't be happening in my view of it. I don't want I don't really know, and I don't want to be in the drama
Phil's
of it.
still in the new stuff.
Yes,
You're saying?
it's still Phil and
It's
Rex.
Phil and Rex.
Phil and
then
Rex.
it's Charlie Benante from Anthrax and Zach Wilde. But it's like, and I don't know. I mean, I know Vinny. From what I understand, Vinnie Paul. It's so funny these people we don't know. I'm talking about like, but because I do follow them because I'm a fan. So,
Yeah.
But and I care about like what they did and they but like, seemed like Vinny was never gonna forgive Phil or never did. At least never did. And by the time he passed,
I'll tell you what, Phil seems like he's in a better place now. Like watching him on stage,
totally.
I'd seen Pantera a lot of times.
I'm a fan, so I've followed that guy since like I was a kid, and he's definitely in the last like 10 years. He's a little more with it now.
Yeah,
he was fucked up before.
I've been to shows where he just berates the audience.
Yeah.
No matter how crazy we were going, you guys fucking suck. We're gonna go home.
One of my favorite videos is there's this video of Down playing the song "Bury Me in Smoke."
Yeah,
you ever seen that video?
I
they're
haven't seen
at
the
some
video
big
for it.
festival. It's
Okay.
like a live video of Down playing "Bury Me in Smoke." It's a cool fucking song. Like,
yeah.
And it's like the guitar, the guy Pepper Keenan, the guitar player, he like starts the riff, and they start the song and shit, and then Phil's like tells the band to stop, and he points to the audience and shit, and he's like stop. He's like I'm tired, I'm sick of people staring at me, man. I'm sick of people staring at me. He's like you don't stare at me unless you want to fight. And you'll lose. He's like, I want to see you motherfuckers going crazy, all of you. And he does that shit, and he's like, Pepper, start the song again. And then it's like, holy shit, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Also, I wouldn't fuck with that dude because if you look at him, like,
He was
in
a boxer.
the mid '90s, he's ripped, dude.
He was an amateur boxer,
and he's from fucking New Orleans. You don't fuck with like, he's a hard ass, dude. He really is, but. It's so funny. A lot of people hate him because I know he said some shit. He gets caught in his mouth.
Yeah,
it's
he's
like,
definitely said some.
But I kind of like, I don't know. I have this thing about, I think I'm largely able to separate art from artist, unless somebody does something like, like in terms of just like people running their mouth though, it's
Are
like
we segueing into Kanye?
even Kanye. The thing is, if I liked like his recent art and stuff, I think I would feel different about him. But he just seems like he's lost and out of touch, and whatever he thinks he's onto, I don't. Maybe he's a fucking genius beyond what I understand, and I just think he's just power crazy is how I feel about him.
Yeah.
I watched him on that Lex Fridman podcast.
Yeah, I watched that too. Yeah, Lex puts good stuff out.
And I was like, pretty. I was. The thing about Kanye is, if you listen to him, you could kind of like see how he could like put the gif on you, and like you feel like you see his point, or you feel like it's like, oh, it makes sense, kind of what he's saying. And sometimes he does, and then sometimes I'm like.
Then he went to 11.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, no, dude, nobody knows, nobody. Maybe you're the fucking greatest genius ever, but nobody knows, none of us lowly people know what the fuck you're talking about.
For now, he's just a gay fish.
Yeah. You don't get the answer.
Who lost his hobbit.
It's been hard to take him seriously my whole life because I had like the College Dropout album when I was like right out of high school. Amazing. Yeah. And then before I know it, he's like South Park's ripping him a new asshole. I'm like,
South
okay.
Park's
and that was so long ago.
Yeah.
It was
so
long ago.
To where he is now, dude. Yeah, whatever. Godspeed.
To all the gay fish out there.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that like in high school.
When you played me that Rush song before Ray got here, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to a lot of Rush. I haven't heard this. So far.
I was telling him to listen to the bass line and during the guitar solo, listen to the bass line in Free Will. The guitar solo is so amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I've never like focused just on the bass. Well, I'm a drummer first of all.
It part goes a little wild.
So Neil's playing stuff that's just off the charts, and Alex is playing a solo that is, amazing for the song. But I started learning the beginning of the bass part on the solo.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I got that part down. And I got to like the next measure. And he just keeps pushing it more and more until the end. It's absolutely insane.
It is insane.
It's so cool.
I learned that song like note for note when I was in high school. I still know how to play most of it.
I got it on drums. Maybe we'll hit that afterwards.
Maybe we could.
That would be absolutely killer.
I'd be down to give it a go.
Yeah, we'll probably fall flat on our face, but that would be fun.
In years. Yeah. I'm trying to think of how that solo. Like, I know
because it started.
Yeah, it goes like in like that. Like, the time changes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember how to play that solo, but
the guitar solo is amazing.
Yeah.
First of all, but the bass underneath it.
We were like, listen to the bass. I'm like, okay, and then the guitar solo took me away, and then
it's
like,
so funny.
10, 20 seconds later, I forgot I'm supposed to be listening.
It did that for 30 years to me.
I was such a big Rush fan in high school and stuff, and then I'm sort of now I sort of like I like don't really like him anymore.
Really?
I think You
overdid it?
Well,
You don't like what they've done recently, you mean?
No, I mean just like it's like music I liked when I was younger, and to me, I don't know. To me, the more music that I find and learn, it just a lot of Rush stuff like doesn't hold up to me. Like it feels really stiff to me for some reason. I don't. Okay. And I was like the biggest Rush fan. Like I was a huge prog rock fan, and so maybe it's a part of me. To be fair, maybe it's part of me like purposely like trying to like bury my past or something or move on from things personally to me, but also I just something musically about that band. To me, it just doesn't flow in the way that I currently am interested in things flowing, and I sort of like. I really respect them. I saw them twice, and I actually saw them. So I was at that thing where they did the Time Machine or whatever.
Yeah,
the one
that one.
The DVD or whatever that they did in Cleveland, and then I was at the one after that, I think, and they did a lot more like of the '80s Rush stuff.
Yeah, I'm not so into that.
Okay, but me neither to listen to, but to see it live, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool because it was just different shit. And you could still tell like the same for them, even though it's like not what maybe we want to hear 2112 or whatever. the same amount of passion went into that music for them.
Yeah.
And I really respect that band because I feel like they always did what they wanted, even if like they knew people weren't gonna like it. And it almost explains their whole career in a way. It's funny that their fans could turn on them in certain ways. Their fans are pretty loyal, but like they were about to get dropped when they made 2112, right? Like, wasn't that the thing?
Yeah, it was either 2112 or the one right before that, where they.
I think it was 2112, and they were like, "Fuck you guys!
We're gonna make the craziest.
If we're going out like this." And then it ironically is what like gave them.
It was either cool 2112 or Hemispheres. They thought it was their last album.
I think it was 2112.
Okay.
And because the 2112 is like the more popular one.
Okay. Yeah,
although I kind of like Hemispheres more personally.
Hemispheres pretty cool, man.
Hemispheres has like
La Villa Strangiano.
That's cool, and
bonkers.
It's cool as fuck.
I'm gonna pull my hair out just thinking about it.
Yeah. When I was in high school, I had a Facebook page. It actually still exists. It's called like it was just a fan page for Alex Lifeshine's La Villa Strangiano solo. Yeah, because I thought it was so cool when I was a kid. And the intro to the song Hemispheres, I still remember how to play it. It's such a cool fucking intro. That yeah. Fucking Rush, dude. I can't believe I'm talking about Rush.
Yeah, this has been.
Well, I was trying to say that
this is like we're like
Peacock's Pantera and Rush.
We're like
Van
talking
Halen.
about all the shit I listened to in high school. It's kind of fun. I don't talk about that often because I've like.
Yeah. Well, I don't listen to it at all, really. I like what I hear, and when I need to like take that kind of influence, I'll listen to it.
I'm gonna send you a
so,
Rush is cool.
I've always liked it, and I want to dive deep into it. And now I'm at the point, and
I did it when I was young, so I'm a little more like over it, kind of. But like,
I'm opposite.
But
so
one thing
I want to get into it now.
One thing I'll say is about Rush to me is like everybody talks about Neil, obviously, and then people talk about Geddy Lee because he's right up front. And he's a fucking. Those guys are like the kind of the technical masters, but the heart and soul is Alex. He's like where like the heart of it is to me.
You watch him live, like control it. He's controlling so much of what's going on. For all the sound they have is a 3-piece, you know, like he's tap dancing on this pedal board, making the sonic landscape that's working with these two lunatics behind him. And then he throws out a solo in Free Will that makes you forget that they're playing the most amazing shit you've ever heard.
Yeah, he's the one that can take it off the rails a little bit, which I like about him. Like some of his like Spirit of Radio is a crazy it's preposterous almost. It's just like, why are you guys doing this? But like, but then like his solo and shit is like wild.
Yeah,
it's not like fucking technical really. It's like wild, and it's like there's a lot of cool things about that band.
And they hung out with Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. As soon as
Canadians.
like for some reason that time that you said his name, I thought about him and Ricky. Right, like just a picture of that came right in my mind.
Bubbles going, he's got the drum solo with the combos. Bubbles' depiction of Neil Peart's solo is very on too. He talks about the cowbell part that's in the middle of every time he does a live solo.
You gotta admire that guy because fucking he just did it. He was true to his own voice, you know, and like whether you're a fan of it or not, whether you fucking are like laughing at the fact that he's got an 80-piece drum set, it's like you gotta admire him because
he used it.
You gotta admire him because he just expressed himself, and it's like, God, that's a really like a beautiful thing to me. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
He really. And in fact, yeah, like, because when he passed, I like mourned him because I was like a fan when I was a kid and stuff. And it's like, even if now it's not my thing, it's like, it actually doesn't. It doesn't fucking matter because he just like, he was such an original because he just didn't. You could like, there's a searching in what he was doing. There's a searching for what he felt was true about himself above whatever he thought was like maybe philosophically like the best or something. I feel like he told the truth about himself, which is like fucking more than like a lot of people can say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and he went through a lot of hard shit.
Yeah, lost his wife and his daughter like within a week of each other, and then took a motorcycle all around the North and South America, along the whole perimeter to try and find himself again.
I mean, that guy. Yeah, you gotta respect that guy. You have to. Fuck off. You know, it's like he was amazing. You know. Yeah.
I may have mourned more when Eddie died, even though I'm like drummer. But when Eddie died, like I felt like it's like when Mozart died. Like he was a different kind of artist. Like being around, if I was around when Jimi Hendrix died, like I think that's how I would have felt.
Yeah, there's some for me like the guys that like. Oh, this is actually a good topic, I think. Like,
we gotta wrap it up in about 10
minutes. Okay.
I know I said the clock and it's just going well. If we didn't have like a 4-piece band coming in, we just did run an extended episode.
Are they coming in tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, it's good. But Eddie, I mourned Eddie for like. I brought my Jackson out, which has nothing to do with him other than it was like my shredder guitar when I was younger, and like I was like for like a couple months I was like, fuck, Eddie Van Halen died. I mean, I remember me and Anthony, my roommate. I don't know if you know Anthony Papaleo. You guys should get him on. It'd be awesome to make him talk.
I know.
He's so quiet and he's just he's like the most amazing musician. But
I went to high school with him.
Yeah.
I didn't know him that well though, cause like he was so quiet.
He's
I was
quiet.
so loud.
He's the sweetest guy ever.
Remember being
but
like one music class
He is a fucking
with him.
incredible, singular musician. He really is. But we were both like, fucking Eddie Van Halen died. We were just like, the fuck, because you can't avoid him. You know, he's fucking, and then on top of like, it's like it's one thing about his influence, but then also just like, you know, what it means personally to you, because it's fucking he made great music. So it's like, but yeah, the thing, the ones for me, I still get upset about Tom Petty. Like sometimes, like I like the other day, I was just like going through some stuff and just was like, man, fucking like miss this guy. I didn't even know him.
He had a great show on Sirius too, where was it Buried Treasures?
Yeah.
And he would go through his album collection and just bring out these obscure songs that were fantastic.
Yeah.
I looked forward to that.
Dude,
like every
Petty,
week.
To me, one of the most consistent songwriters in all of popular American music. It's like none of his shit in any era was like trendy or none of it. It was always like his heart was there, and some things landed more than others, like whatever. But like even like from the '90s onward, that's where like I really love him.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, Tom Petty, in terms of celebrities that died, Tom Petty and Norm Macdonald were like two guys I really like. It really, because with comedians, you know, and Gilbert Gottfried passed away, and I'm a huge fan of Gilbert Gottfried. He was on the Howard Stern show like
all the time. He was on.
And dude, and so much of that shit.
Dracula Godfrey.
Dude, Dracula. Dude, yeah. The children of the night.
But his roast of Bob Saget is still my favorite thing.
Oh, Gilbert?
Gilbert roasting Bob Saget.
God. Yeah.
If you guys, that's my video recommendation.
I would go for Norm roasting Bob Saget.
That whole roast.
Because that Norm thing where he like read all those old jokes.
Yeah.
Out of that, where it's like there are times when Bob has something on his mind when he's wearing a hat. Like Norm just bombed on purpose and did like all these jokes that were like, instead of everybody else is like saying the dirtiest, most filthy shit. But
did you see Norm's farewell special?
I cried, dude. I cried. Yeah. And then that thing at the end.
That was just from his like right in front of his computer.
So original.
That thing at the end with like they're all talking about him.
Yeah.
I've watched that twice. But it's funny. You know what I thought about when Gilbert died and when Norm died. But Norm is like, for me, Norm Macdonald's like a hero of mine that I love him. Like, I love him.
You talking about Turd Ferguson?
Yeah, Turd Ferguson. That's not my name. That's not my name.
That's some of my favorites.
Yeah, I'll take ape tits for. Because I feel like Norm is a really like sensitive deep person that had a lot of serious things to say that I was like, wow, this guy really has like he's a thoughtful guy. Whereas Gilbert, I feel like he was too, but he never let on. His commitment to his like character and his craft. So, but what I thought about when Gilbert died was like, when the only things someone's ever done, the only thing they've ever done is make you laugh. God, that like hit me in a different way.
Yeah.
I was like, it's like, you know, it's like you never got anything from the dude, but in his own like he sort of sacrificed his own emotional life in some ways to just make people always be on and always be laughing. Like, it actually got him into trouble sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's
Lost
like
in the Affleck gig.
yeah, but it's and dude, and if you listen to some of that shit on that Howard Stern stuff from the '90s, like it's like I mean, but it's almost funny like how someone like that, someone like Gilbert, someone like Norm Macdonald, like they're so skilled at their craft of comedy. And it's so clear that what they're saying isn't serious that, like, you could fucking try to cancel them, but you kind of can't because everybody just goes, that's fucking Gilbert Gottfried.
That's what you got.
Yeah, it's Gilbert Gottfried, you know? He's not fucking, you know what I mean? It's like, it's different from, like, you know, whatever. Like, if Bill Maher said something where Bill Maher is, like, trying to make you think he's smart. You know, he's supposed to be a comedian.
Yeah, Gilbert's just trying to make you laugh.
Yeah. I don't know.
100%. Well,
I don't know what we talked about. This is fun, guys.
I know. We need to have you back in for a third episode, and we got to make you the only guest.
This is just like a hang. It was cool. Yeah,
100%, man.
Yeah.
We covered Van Halen, Peacocks, Pantera, Gilbert Gottfried, Norm Macdonald,
Nick Cage.
We did. Yeah.
Well,
cool. Well, sorry you brought your guitar. We didn't get it out, but
oh, that's okay. I don't even know why. It's just my comfort blanket.
We're gonna nail Free Will later,
dude. We should try that at least once. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Cheers, boys. All
cheers.
right.
Yeah, they'll be here in 5 minutes, so it's
we already discussed movies.
We did, yeah. I was kind of hoping like, okay, maybe they're canceling last minute and we can do more Ray. No,
I watched that movie the other night. That was pretty good. I was making my recommendation. It's called High and Low. It's like it's a Kurosawa film. You ever heard of that guy?
No.
He's like this Japanese director. Made a bunch of cool movies.
I've only heard about him in that.
Rashomon is one of those famous ones. It's like about this this like girl gets raped, and then it's like there's 3 different accounts of it. And that's what the movie is, like the 3 different like accounts of it, and then you piece together like what really happened, whatever. But yeah, High and Low. It was cool. It's like a movie about, it's sort of like a drama thriller crime movie. But yeah, that would be my recommendation because that's what you guys do, right?
Yeah. What'd you watch this week?
I told you already. This place
yeah,
rules.
Yeah.
I got mine out early.
Yeah. We went out of order.
It's on HBO Max for anybody looking for it.
Cool.
I haven't really watched anything new. I've been watching movies with my kid though, and yesterday watched Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame.
You like the original one, like
'96.
Oh yeah.
And man, that is for a Disney movie that it gets deep and dark and really into like human emotions and
well, that story in general is like very human, like dark thing about.
The music.
I feel like there's that Norm bit about
that.
the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
There's gotta be.
where he's like it's like something about like it's like how even though it's like that way you want what you can't have. It's like he's the fucking hunchback that lives up in the bell tower, like, and of course he has to have the fucking hottest girl in town. Like, none of the other girls are good enough for him. He has to have the fucking yeah.
All right, yeah, Hunchback of Notre Dame.
All right.
Notre Dame. Sorry.
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
The Sopranos thing.
There's a BBC.
Hey, next time I see you, you'll be to and from Hawaii, maybe, right?
Maybe.
All right.
Yeah, we will see. United sent me an email today. They're doing specials to Hawaii today only for like ridiculously low miles, and I have a lot of miles right now, so I can go to Hawaii for free. So I might be doing that.
Hell yeah, do it.
I hope you do
Now-
that.
We just got to reschedule some podcast
Yeah,
guests.
yeah. If you're listening, if you're a future guest in this podcast and you get bumped, like
Chuck's going to Hawaii.
vacations,
I'm
yeah,
getting
we
laid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we don't get paid for this or anything. We're going on our vacations first.
We don't get paid for this?
Well, we get paid in conversations with Ray Flanagan.
Oh, this was a blast, man.
There's some
It's
courtesy.
awesome. I was like, yeah, it's off. I was kind of like, what am I doing tonight? I was like, this is cool. Yeah. So
It's always fun.
yeah, I love what you guys are doing, man. Thanks for like
Thanks, man.
having me back multiple times. So
You gotta give us when we get off, give me your schedule because we put together a calendar. We're trying to put together a full calendar for like all the local artists on our website, cuyahogasound.com.
Oh yeah, new website. Website is
We got one of those things.
up and going.
I'm
Right?
sure someone's still tuned in this far in. Peacock and Van Halen aficionado.
yeah, it'd be great. Even if people, other people come in and dispute whatever the fucking bullshit that came out of my mouth is, I'm fine with it.
And for Cuyahoga Sound Podcast, I'm Evan Stone.
I'm Chuck Schilling.
Peace.
Peace.